Gonna remove the front door panel here, driver's side, because the motor is not working. Need to get in there. And somebody's been in here before. See the scratch marks there and there where they lifted this without protection. And I don't know who put that screw there. Well, it had the vapor barrier. That's good. January 15th, 1960. First interesting thing is that, and then look in the door. As I recall, Don liked to hit the inside surface of this with a Rust-Oleum rust prover. Well, I think that's probably what he did. So, there's the motor removed with the transmission. And it is spinning, so that's a good sign. The transmission is held on with 3 screws into the door. 1, 2. Where's the third one, you ask? Yeah, it's about in here. Well, I don't see any hole. How do you get to it? Well, often you'll see people have cut a hole right here so they can get to it. I, Bony Finger Bob, will just get in here and reach in and then by the way, these window motor bolts, don't lose them. This is, it's an odd thread, and you can't get them nowadays with a hex head like this. You can get them with an Allen head, but it's one of those odd things that it's one of those threads and combinations. They don't make them anymore. You can get the Allens, but you know. This is the driver's side power window, back from repair, the one that was running so slowly. We'll get ready to put it back on. You see there's the that valve stem seal that we like to put on there for sealing. And in the bottom, there, the John Grady drain hole. So if anything does get into there, at least the water has somewhere to drain out. So I'm going to reinstall the power window motor that is attached to the transmission. It goes in here. You can see 1, 2, and the third mounting, it goes in back here. Hard to get to, well, whatever. Now, people were talking about you gotta clamp the window regulator spring. No, you don't. It's still in there. It's still attached to the regulator. This is what makes the window go up and down so easy. Is it's still got the spring. So, just a matter of access. Oh, there you go. Now you can see that third one that's hidden back in there. These fasteners, which mount the motor, what are they? They are 5/16. So they are very small. And This one, which is hidden, you got to have the screw in there first, because once you get that in there, there isn't enough room between the transmission and the door to put the screw in afterwards. I'm going to make this look easy. And there you have it. This hidden one, I was able to get this 5/16 ratchet wrench, up in there, and there you go. We'll connect the motor, see what we have for performance. Replacing these window looms, FGH is so easy because the master switch is over there. So there's only just the 2 wires that run to the door. What did I do? Yeah, I don't think that one's got any life left in it. 79B from Query, $12-13 a piece. Or is it $12-13 a pair? I don't remember. Something like that. Anyway, put them on. So there you are with the door panel reinstalled. When you're working around this area, get yourself some little pieces of Mylar, because they're sharp edges and that's going to scratch. This particular one, there is one of those door clips. In fact, here it is. That's right here. And the previous owner had trouble putting it in, and he pounded on it, and the door clip just distorted the aluminum. So I have brought it back as far as I can. Anyway, there's your window loom, window wire, power loom installed, the door buttoned up, and we'll move on to something else. So the horns won't blow on this car. This is the horn relay on 60s and 61s. Horns only blow when the key is on ignition. And this relay is kind of different. So let's get into it and see why the horns don't blow. So this round wire, this round connection, is the wire that runs back to the steering wheel, and it looks for ground in order to blow the horns. This one is the 12-volt feed from the starter solenoid. Yeah, right down in there. And this one is the 12-volt feed from the ignition switch. And the green wires are the wires that actually run to the horns. So let's see what we have with a test light. Remove the ashtray. It turns out they broke the top off of it, and that's why it was falling in there. The dome lights are working off of the Astrodome. And you might as well get in here and do this. Do this door panel and do the wire loom. You might hear it. That's the oscillator running. Getting that headlight switch out was really difficult. Let's see. But I don't think it's supposed to do this. The headlight knob pulled off of the rod. The switch is still up in here with the rod still attached, and even pushing the button would not get the knob to release. So I've jumped from the power to the orange, and that got the oscillator powered and the dash lights came on. Jump to the green wire, headlights, and I have headlights. Jump to the yellow, and you get your parking lights. When you have the oscillator fired up, you will also get the 12 volts lights for the push buttons. So, but the push buttons are kind of stiff anyway, so we'll probably want to put a heater switch in there. Oh, gonna need to get a headlight switch. I think I have. And in parts, I came across 2 of these. (1960) backup lights. Oh, well, see if these are better. The ones that are on the car are corroded. Won't that be nice? Ashtray restorations come along just nice. What you doing today? Well, we've got the replacement windshield in, and we're letting it get used to its new territory. And we're going to work on replacing the heating button controls here on the F. These are so sticky that they just don't move. So I have, this is a non-AC car, so the buttons are a little different. Hold on. Rebuilt by John Grady. Look how easy. So we will take this one off and swap this one in. Something I just noticed. See this light? Well, apparently there's a difference. I can tell you removing these things is difficult because this light wants to grab the lip of the dash pad. And it gets right into here, and then you can't pull it out, so then you gotta fuss and fiddle. Maybe that's why the other one doesn't have it. Notice also that the vacuum tube bundle doesn't have the retaining clip. Maybe because this is an early car. So before I buttoned up the heater push button replacement, I happened to look at the bezel when I noticed this nasty gouge. Well, don't really want to put that back on. So I started digging around in spares, and came up with this one. I think I'm going to use that. I'm going to need to repaint the worm and cut off the button stems like they do, and These cleaned up so nicely that I don't have to repaint these. You may have noticed this. This is the bezel protecting ring that goes on the taillights for the backup lights for a 60. And I came across these two, which have a little bit of pit. But here's the backup light that's on there. I think that's got to come off. And my question, so this is a 1950 DeSoto. We're not yet working on it because we want to finish other projects. But going around in a box of parts, what do I find? It's the same thing. So I have waxed it, polished it, and I will stick it in the trunk for someday. But, you know, look at the detail that they did in 1950. This face insert is actually its own piece. It's held on by a screw in the back. But, yeah. You just never know what you're going to find in a box. So there we go. Look how easy those buttons work. We can call that heater taken care of. We have push button lights for the heater control and the new heater control. And we have lights for the transmission push buttons. We still got to do the switch. Right now it's jumped. Thought I'd take a quick look at the license plate light to see why that was not getting illumination. And I checked the bulb and see, you get ground. Well, the problem is that housing does not have ground to the body. I mean, you see that big gasket that goes around it for the weather strip, and then you're just depending on those two little mounting screws for ground. Well, you ain't got it. Gotta fix it. And there you go. Just had to take the paint off of those two screws, and now we've got ground. There you go. There's the new headlight switch installed. Went in fairly easy. Of course, if you're doing this by yourself and you're under the dashboard trying to get that switch to mate, and I ended up getting a thin Phillips like this. This is a spare. But I put that in the hole, and the switch then could find this thing and run up, and then I could get it to bite on this. Man, it wasn't the wrestle that I remember. Maybe I just got lucky. Moving on.